Hello, hello, hello. Oh, I've been waiting for this for months. This is the Isaac Four Souls Anniversary Booster Pack. Oh, this thing looks fantastic. I'm surprised we got another one so fast. Before I start, this comes with the promo mystery gift, although it's not specifically this. Anything ordered from Maestro Media this month comes with this card. This is a really fun little everyone gets a treasure card. I mean, it doesn't have to be everyone, but it probably is going to be everyone, trust me. But in addition to that, I get this. A mystery gift. In which I get, Mom's Charmed Heart, Birthday Cake, and Corrupted Data. I already have these cards. I might do a giveaway. That could be fun, but let me know what y'all think. Does anybody want these? Would people do a giveaway for these? Maybe. Alright. Let's get right into the big fish. And I do mean big. This is a thick pack. This is only supposed to have 20 cards in it, which surprises me because it does not feel... It feels like more than 20. And I see some paper in there. What is this? What is this? Oh my goodness. Are these... Let's get a closer look. When I finish Super Meat Boy and Tommy... Wait a minute. Hang on. I gotta take a look. Take a look at this. Come on now. Hang on, wait a minute. Do these all come with like little info cards? Oh my goodness. Okay, I'll get back to it. These come with little Isaac history cards. Oh, that's fantastic. Wow. Okay, I'll leave this on screen so you can read it. I'll take a pause and read it. But these are like little history bits, and this is the legendary card. People that didn't think this was real, I didn't think this was real. I thought this was fake. It was real the whole time. Level 1 Isaac. 3 health, and starting with 2 additional loot cards. He doesn't have an item. Oh my goodness. I'm still kind of awestruck that, that's a thing. And the new character, Florian. I'll talk about this guy later. And this is wild, but I predicted this guy. I'll put the Discord stuff on screen. Me and Beniety, if you know him, we predicted these cards like at the same time. It felt like wizards. It was insane. Wrath of the Lamb. This is a fun little event. It's not really anything major. I love the art on these. This is Yazawa Akio. Oh my. Data Miner! I hear things about this one. Nobody likes this card in game, although it's kind of unique now after the recent patch. This is insane. Look at this 9 attack. Ooh. Co-op, baby. Oh, this is a little history lesson. Before there was multiplayer, we had this guy. Was it fun? No. But it was what we had. Back in my day. Oh, here's another one of these info cards. Content. These attributes are very fun. Wow. Look at this. Greed mode. More rooms. Gotta love the art on these. All the artists that Ed hires or employs or whatever, man, they know their stuff. These are crispy. Ooh, I know who drew this one. Oh my goodness. Look at that. This is like my favorite card art-wise. This one is awesome. I wasn't actually around in the fandom for the Keeper ARG. I joined around just before the release of Repentance. This one's fun. This one's silly. I don't want to see this. I'm laughing now, but if I see this in game, I'm gonna get mad. I'm gonna get mad. Patch notes. Oh. I was gonna read that. Blue Baby did not get a buff. They need to buff him in game. He's horrible. Like in Four Souls, he's horrible. He is like one of the worst characters. Oh my god. Oh, here's the booster pack. Ooh, booster packception. Alright. Oh, here's more info. Another piece of afterbirth. Certain most people don't know anti-birth. Within or Kilburn. I think I know that guy. No, I don't. I don't know that guy. Worked well together, played the game inside and out, and just well, if not better than I did. Talk about making it official and merging it. Oh, that is awesome. I love that we get little history, little Isaac history. There's some common repentance fellows, cracked key, tainted spitty, more rooms. Multiplayer update. Online was the best thing to happen to Isaac, except for the fact that it wasn't. It was actually, you know what? I like it. I like the idea. Some people just have some problems with it, is all. That's okay. Legend of Bumbo. Ooh. Randomly generated reconstruction. Match 3 game deck builder elements. Bumbo is continuing to move. Ice from memory friend Bumbo. It's going to save the coin. Wait, may not realize this is. Let's go. Games. Time deeper still. Trying to learn more secrets about Isaac's father. Yep, so. And I didn't say anything about how the game still has many bugs. This. I want this character to be good. I want him to be good, but I don't know if he is. I do not think that he is, and that makes me sad. I love the art, though. The art is stellar. Always is. What do we have here? Got these pieces. Ooh. A tappable room. Look at that. A tappable room. I gotta look into that. Monster card. Oh, no way. Another ambush. We have waited many years for this. And our last card is Prototype. We'll make your own item deal. Isn't that great? All right. Let's talk about him. Our first card today is the mythological legendary card that some debated over being real, Level 1 Isaac. I could go on about how somehow this card made its way into circulation a while back and became something of a is it real, is it fake type of card, but it was real all along. If you want more info on this, go watch the video in the description. It does a really good job of covering it. Take a look. 3 health to start, making this one of the tankiest characters in the game at the cost of having no eternal item. Instead, level 1 Isaac starts with 2 additional loot cards. That means your starting hand will have a total of 6 loot cards. This giant head start could mean a lot, but the lack of an eternal item means you better find something in the treasure deck to boost you up, and fast. Florian and his item, Game Squid. You'll never believe me, but me and Benighty actually predicted this card and its item moments before it was released. Game Squid is a passive item that allows you to buff a monster's health and attack by 1, and then you may choose a player to team up for the attack. If that buffed monster dies, every player who made an attack roll on it this turn gets to put a health counter on an item they own. It looks like you can't put a heart counter on items that already have them though, so no double dipping. This item is super useful for buffing up you and a friend's character with bonus health, and after gaining just 1 health counter, you'll be able to negate the downside of having to increase a monster's attack to get the health counter. All around a swell character to have. Wrath of the Lamb is a rather simple event. When this comes into play, each player votes for another. The player with the most votes gets to steal a soul from another player. If there's a tie, the active player breaks it. Nothing huge here, just a little shake-up event. Multiplayer update! This room makes every attack declared while this is active a team-up for the whole table. If a non-active player kills a monster while this is active, they also gain its rewards. It doesn't specify that the non-active player had to be attacking, by the way. A quick bomb could be just what you need to swipe a trigger away from someone else. I like that we're getting more cards that utilize these newly added keywords like team-up. Always great to see. Data Miner is a bit of a wild card. When used, the user rolls. For a 1, each monster's attack becomes 1. For a 2, this is destroyed and a damage counter is put on your character if it is. A 3 deactivates all cards in play. A 4 is rough. Your hand size is set to 0 until the start of your next turn. Yikes. 5 is another brutal one. Each monster's attack becomes 9. Rolling a 6 is exactly what you want though. The Data Miner destroys itself and your attack becomes 9 until the end of turn. This is the strongest attack buff in 4 Souls history by a massive margin, so if you can get this item, I would save its use for when you can guarantee a 6 or a 2. Correct me if I'm wrong, but with 9 attack, I believe you can immediately kill any monster in the game with 1 hit, barring any effect text exceptions. I'm putting this item in A tier. It has the potential to do some crazy things, but both crazy good and crazy bad are possibilities. Mystery Gift is technically not a part of this pack, but I'm covering it anyway. It is a single-use item that when used, destroys itself. Then, you choose any number of players. Next, look at the top X cards of the treasure deck, where X is equal to the number of chosen players. Put any of them back or on the bottom in any order. Gain +1 treasure, and then each chosen player gains +1 treasure. Presents for everyone. It benefits you directly to allow more players to get in on this, which I think is a fun twist. Helping your friends to help yourself. I'll give this an A tier. It's a pretty fun item, but you probably won't make any giant plays with it. Co-op Baby! This card is a familiar, which means it's an item that can be attacked by players. This familiar forces you to team up with another player each time you attack. This can be helpful or hurtful if you're selfish. But not to worry. If someone doesn't like you having this item, a stat line of 2, 3, 1 is a complete pushover and won't be very difficult to overcome for them. Or you! I'm putting this item in B tier. It's not super crazy, but it's a lot better in the early game than it is the late game. Hey, you know what this is. Most of you guys aren't subscribed, so go ahead and like and subscribe so I get more money in junk. I promise I got some really cool stuff coming up, like re-ranking all the characters. You won't want to miss it. Okay, back to it. Money. Here's a way to earn some fast cash. When this room is active, each time a monster dies, the active player gains cents equal to its health. This sounds great, but this room has a downside. Every tap symbol on items or characters becomes a paid symbol, meaning instead of tapping your items, you must instead pay 3 cents. You could see this as an upside, however, if you have the coin to use your items that many times. This room, Daily Run, can be attacked with a stat line of 441. Each time this room takes damage, you gain 4 cents or loot 1. Then, you may cancel your attack on this. This monster also has the Indomitable keyword and grants a treasure when slain. This is all in all just a good deal. You'll stock up on resources with every blow you deal this room, and if the going gets too tough, you can cancel your attack and keep yourself safe. Thumbs up! Keeper's Resting Place. I love the art on this one, props to Akio. When this event appears, the active player secretly puts it back in the monster deck, at least 3 cards from the top. The second time a card named Keeper's Resting Place resolves this game, this becomes a soul and the active player gains it. This is just a fun little bonus soul you might find. Although, whoever finds it might just put it at the very bottom of the deck and you'll never see it again, ever. If you're not off-put by the idea of giving someone else a soul, you could be strategic with it and manage to get it for yourself, which would be a much more fun idea than throwing it out of the game in my book. Game Crash! When this... Crash. Patch notes! With this event, 3 players at the table are randomly chosen. The first puts a heart counter on a non-eternal item they control, the second puts an attack counter on a non-eternal item they control, and the third puts an eternal counter on an item they control. Too bad for player number 4, eh? There's not much to say here other than the fact that this is a really interesting way to give players a buff, and that you're literally giving them a buff. I'm sure you'll be happy to see this if you find it. Now this could be interesting. Booster Pack consumes itself when used, and following this, the active player reveals the top 5 loot cards in the loot deck. That player may then play any number of these cards without using a loot play, and the rest are put into discard. This is the chance to net the active player a huge burst of resources, since cents make up about 90% of the loot deck, but this will probably scramble some other things up as well. Pills, bombs, turrets, anything goes. Also, I hear this card was designed by Spaggy. Congratulations! Cracked Key, one of the most iconic consumables from Repentance. How's it fare as a loot card? I can't say it isn't interesting. The active player chooses a non-eternal item. This item becomes a room, and the room slots are expanded by 1, and this is put in the room slot. This can basically be used to turn an item into an item that everyone shares, in a way. It can still be discarded like a room, so it may not always be the most impactful thing in the game. Fun fact, you can kinda use this to delete other players' items. If someone has a super strong item, you can use this to change it into a room, and then discard said room to remove it from the game. Fun, but not for them. This is another card made by a dedicated fan. Thanks, Mommy Makes. Tainted Spitty. Always fun to see more tainted enemies. First off, look at the reward. Gee willikers, that's nice. And for a 4-3-1, what's the catch? Well, when a player would roll against this, they instead roll X amount of dice, where the amount of dice is the amount of souls you control plus 1. You choose the lowest dice roll as the result. Yikes. That is a pretty big catch. Attacking this if you have even 1 soul is a giant challenge, unless you're really lucky. I wouldn't touch this unless I had a surefire way to kill it, or 0 souls. Just yikes. Bumbo the Stout. Finally, a new Bumbo! Remember when I predicted one of these guys? Sadly, the general consensus is that this character isn't very good. His item, Bag of Holes, allows him to play an additional loot card this turn. In addition, if you would loot, you instead loot that much plus 1. That means this guy gets tons of loot. Awesome! However, when this character's turn starts, he loses all of it. And I'm thinking, oh, that is bad. Even his starting hand falls by the wayside, since he discards his hand when his turn starts. He has to throw away all his cards immediately upon starting a game. not good. You'll only be gaining a guaranteed 2 loot cards per turn from your starting hand, which is less than the total amount you can play each round, which is 3. I really wish this wasn't the case, but I do not think this character is very good. At all. If he had some way to play more loot cards or gain more in other ways, he might be a very interesting and tactical character, but I just don't see it. Any Bumbo the Stout fans out there? Maybe I'm just not looking at this right. Leave a comment on what you think about him, alright? It's cool we're getting so many rooms in this pack. The next room is Guppy's Pieces. When this enters play, Guppy's Soul immediately becomes an active bonus soul if it wasn't already. Sorry, bonus soul haters. The active player is allowed to tap this room to look at the top 5 cards of the treasure deck, and if a Guppy item is there, you gain it. The active player gains it. The others are put at the bottom of the deck in a random order. When this room becomes active, the table will basically dig through the deck for Guppy items over and over, and without a doubt, some will be found. This is a super cool room in that it adds a unique new way to gain a soul, and I love it. Monster card. Finally, we have another ambush loot card in this game. It states that this becomes a copy of the top card of the monster deck when it is attacked, and after copying, it gains the ability, when it leaves play, the active player puts it in their hand. This is a fun loot card you can use in a variety of ways, depending on what monster is on the top of the monster deck. You could force a friend to attack an impossible monster, or allow yourself to gain some nice rewards. One thing for sure though, thanks to its active player gains this when it leaves play and is copied ability, this card might be in the game for a while. Prototype! This treasure is a fun one. With it, you get to make your own item from the effects listed. You choose 1 line of text from each of the 3 lists. Then, this item gains those effects in that order. You could have an item that grants you health at the start of each turn in exchange for a loot card, or 6 cents when you roll a 3 at the cost of giving it to another player. The possibilities are endless. Kinda. There's a finite amount of possibilities. How many? I'm not calculating it. I'm gonna put this in B tier. The fact that you are forced to choose a negative effect brings the prototype down just a little bit. And that's the anniversary pack! Thank you for watching. Remember that thing I said earlier? Not the like and subscribe part, the I'm working on re-ranking all the 4 Souls characters part. Right, that one. If you have any suggestions on what characters I should put where, please let me know. This time I'll be re-ranking the characters in the traditional SS to F tier, so if you have any suggestions and your reasoning behind them, please let me know. I'd love to hear them. My thoughts and opinions have changed quite a bit, so you won't see the same video you saw like 2 years ago. Thank you all for watching, remember to like and subscribe, and I'll see you later.